Dun, 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 dun.
That first moment of realization, like, this is not what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. And two was then I have to get out of here. I can't be around this. I need to get away from it so I can do what I need to do for me. And so I think those two things are what moved me to that place. But yeah, if I didn't have that, I could very easily just, I don't know, be...
You would have been floating around,
Be one of those unhappy, miserable person that's just every night is drinking beers and being miserable.
Yeah, you would have been bitching about your wife.
Yep.
And just not a happy camper.
Yeah.
Now you get to bitch about your wife on a podcast that we get to do.
And love every minute of it.
All right.
This is Dave.
This is Reese.
And this is Manic Joy, a podcast about
life,
love,
and uncertainty.
Hey, cheers.
Oh, cheers. Which one is this now?
This is drink number 2. Well, let's try it first.
I smell lime juice. I'm nervous.
Ooh. That's quite delicious, actually.
Sour.
Well, it's a lime, for sure.
It's not the lime juice that you showed me with the moldy bubbles.
I strained
moldy bubbles.
In the drink that you're drinking, I strained that right out. So it's just...
You know what? That's really not funny. I don't like that.
I kid. No, I didn't use that. I didn't use that. That was disgusting.
That was absolutely...
So here's the deal. We've got a full liquor cabinet, but we're out of vodka. And vodka's like usually the mix that you're going to be using, the alcohol. And
I go through more whiskey than I ever do Tito.
Do, yes. Tito. Just Tito.
Tito, give me a tissue.
Tito. Every once in a while, we'll have Frito come over. Not Lay.
Just Frito.
Frito and Tito.
They're twins.
Everything's fine.
They're conjoined.
And so I was like, man, what are we going to do now? And we have all this other stuff, but like the drinks I was thinking of either required whiskey, which you drank it all.
Or it was my early birthday gift.
So
my liver.
I did. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. So I made a Bacardi. This is a daiquiri martini.
Okay, I'll
so
accept that.
It's Bacardi.
It's Bacardi?
Have you ever heard of Bacardi?
Bacardi.
And so interestingly, what I was going to say earlier before we started recording was that this is episode 151.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember growing up, you'd have Bacardi 151?
No.
I think that's a thing.
Bacardi
151 was like the high proof rum version.
Yeah,
I believe
didn't
that's
drink
true.
rum as a kid.
Somebody fact check that, please.
We drank.
You didn't drink rum as a kid. Good.
I did not drink rum as a kid
either, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, you said when we were kids. I was like, when I was a kid, I didn't
like
drink
high
rum.
school and in college, not like
I
kid.
That was.
Remember when you were 12?
Rum was too bougie
and you would go
college.
to your ski trips and you'd smuggle in schnapps.
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 That's what I did. Not
Peppermint 151.
Not rum.
Peppermint schnapps. We should do shots of peppermint schnapps.
It was blackberry. No, it was blackberry schnapps.
I like the blackberry schnapps. I think we must have peppermint.
What type of night are we having? We had one
it's
drink.
A banger.
Then we had this drink, and now you wanted to.
So my dad came by to drop up a gift for you.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, you want to sit down? He was like, yeah. And you were like,
shocked.
oh, what do you want? You want a drink or something? He was like, yeah. We're like, oh, okay.
He'll usually do, I'm stopping by the house, and he's like, I'm leaving your gift in the mailbox, and then he drives away. And this time he comes to the door. I'm like, hey. And then he wants to come in. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
And it just went from there. And it was nice to sit and bond with him a little.
At that point in time, I made a lemon drop martini.
No, but what were we calling it? Didn't we call it something else? It wasn't.
I don't remember, but it was a lemon drop martini.
Yeah.
And I made that with vanilla vodka because we did have some of that. We also have the peppermint vodka, but I didn't want to do like a sweet chocolatey drink or anything.
No, I'm glad
like that.
you didn't. I'm not in the mood for that.
So yeah, I know you're very against those things. You like the things that just get right to you.
Yeah, well,
You
what
like
am
that
I
look?
wasting time for? We're
Yeah, what are you
life
wasting
is
time
short.
for?
Let's
Yeah,
go.
just like,
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Knock
let's
me
go.
out.
Oh yeah, good. Well, what do you
I
think
put
about
my
that?
rock candy in there, and that was good.
Oh,
I was
God,
eating
that
rock
was the
candy.
best. So I don't know if you noticed, probably not, since the theme of what we're not discovering. I knew this the whole time, but you bought crackers, and on the box, the brand is Crunchmaster. Did you notice that? And I'm like, I'm gonna get that on a shirt for you that just says Crunchmaster.
As you should.
Yeah. My favorite was, so you got you have the sticks of rock candy. So what, did you get that today when you were out?
That's what I had
Where
when I
was
was a
that from?
kid. I didn't drink rum.
You,
I got
you
it-
smoked the rock
It was
candy.
part of my birthday gift from Sarah
Okay.
Kindly.
So,
And so I was very excited because I haven't had rock candy in like my
yeah.
So when I was sick as a kid, for some reason, my parents would always get me rock candy. Like if I had a sore throat, for some reason there was some old wives' tale about the rock candy, and that is how I even knew about it. So
Okay.
I was very, not that my throat hurts, but I was like, I haven't had rock candy in like the longest time.
You're
It's a
sitting
little
next to me,
difficult to eat.
and we're watching a show, and you're
I was slurping.
slurping on the rock
I was
candy.
not chewing. I
No,
was
you weren't chirping,
slurping.
but you
Chirping.
kept giving me a look at it, because I was like, because what you were doing is, as you would twist it in your mouth, it was clanking across your big old teeth, and it was going clank, clank, clank. And you're like, "What? I'm not chewing it." I'm like, "No, but you're clank, clanging it."
Can't a
And then you
girl
got up.
just
Then you got up.
have some rock
and
candy in peace
I wish. Apparently, you can't,
because of you.
because you jumped off to the other couch, and then all you could hear was the click, 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 click from a distance.
What
From
am
a
I supposed to eat
distance.
it like? No, I'm not going to do it.
We need social media clips.
No, I already made some. I was about to say I made some faces for you. You'll see it,
Oh,
and I'm
good.
sure that's going to be the one that you use. As I was doing it, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, there you go. Womp womp.
But that drink was good. I felt like we gave it like another name. I don't remember what it was. We were like joking about it, but it doesn't matter. It was delicious. It was really good. That was surprising. This is
And
just
now
as
we're
good.
drinking the
Yeah.
Stackery
I just-
martini, which is a joke because it's not really a martini. Because
I know,
you don't
but
really make
anything
martini
in
with-
this glass is a martini.
exactly, and that's
Exactly.
all. That's all we care about. So cheers, friends.
Cheers.
For those of you who may be just playing along, if you didn't know already, we do go to the Manic Joy website. That's manicjoy.com. And we put the recipes of the drinks that we have on the show on the website. So you can make
Drink
one of these-
along.
Drink along. Exactly. It's a drink along.
It's a drink along,
Is it
everyone.
a bouncing ball with that?
Yep. You're a bouncing ball. Hey.
Anyway, episode 151.
That is really crazy to me.
So like we started this in 2020, February, I believe, of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And, we took a little bit of time off during the pandemic and then we came back, but we've been doing that, like 6 years,
It's crazy.
which is wild when you think about it.
It really is.
And so we were going to do something a little special today. But I want to give you an opportunity before I say what we're going to do. I want to give you an opportunity to tell everybody about your surprise tea party.
Oh,
Because I assume that's something you would like to do.
I will, just like my tinnitus, I will talk about my Bridgerton themed tea party.
How good was that?
I have to say, I'm a birthday gal. I love to celebrate people's birthdays. I like to go out for my birthday. I like to celebrate that I was born. I think that was a good thing on the world, and it should be celebrated.
Yeah.
So this year I was like, hey, let's maybe do like a little in-house little party, because we did one for you and the girls were there and I loved that. So I was like, maybe I can have my own little version of that. And then out of nowhere, the girls were just like, we'd like to help you.
Mhm.
We want to do a little something. And I didn't
We'd
know.
like to help you.
Yes.
It was
They wanted it. Well, I
it was
thought
an intervention, really.
maybe it could have been, who
Yeah,
knows? I
yeah.
mean, so they said to me, we want to help you plan it. And they were like, and I was like, okay, so what
calling
does
you
that
fat?
mean? What?
A planet?
Oh my God. And if I was going to be one, it's Pluto, ding dong.
Wow. Anyway, go on,
Hold your joke so I can get through the story.
please.
Okay, please. So I was like, okay. And they're like, well, there's something we want to do. And we want it to be a surprise. And I was like, okay, but what? And they're like, you do nothing. You do nothing. So then I was like, do you want me to relinquish the Facebook Evite that I put together? Invite. Oh, yeah, okay. So I actually had a friend, Johnny. I'm friends with Emily on Facebook, just not Johnny. And I realized I put in a friend request. She ignored me.
Well, they're never on there. That's why.
No, they're not. But it's fine. So anyway.
And she doesn't like you.
Also that. So, and if this party says the opposite of that, because this kid knew, the only people that knew about Bridgerton was Emily and I.
Yes.
No one
Jai
else
and
did.
I were like,
not a clue.
we looked at Emily and we were like, this is all you, kid.
Yep.
And
And
you tell us what you need.
Listen, she did a wonderful job, and you guys did a great job executing her vision. We had just, the last season of Bridgerton had just ended. So Emily was like ahead of me. And I was like, I'm catching up. And then I took notes. She's like, yeah, we'll talk about it when it's over. I took notes. And then we talked about it. And I love that that is something that I can share with her. Like, that was really fun. The fact that she even thought about doing a Bridgerton themed party for me blows my mind, because I have to tell you, I really was surprised. I had no idea. Every time I think about it, I get choked up, because I just think about like all the little things that they put together. Phenomenal. And okay, I took myself off of I blocked myself from the Facebook invite, so I wouldn't see anything.
Just so you know, you cannot remove, if anybody's ever thinking about this in the future, you cannot remove the person who created the event.
So
they are stuck there.
Yeah, so you
turned off your
So
notification.
I just turned off the notification. So,
but we didn't trust you, because we were like, she's going to do something dumb anyway, even though she doesn't mean to.
it would be
she's gonna see it.
accidental.
Well, exactly.
It would be
But then it's gonna
accidental. It
ruin
would
it.
never be
And so
purposeful.
That's why I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell people about it, but I'm going to have them DM me if they want details and they want to show up, because I don't want you catching wind of what it is and then ruin everything.
Well, it was a smart
you do.
move, because
Sure.
whatever. I like a surprise when I don't know it's a surprise, but when I know there's a surprise, I got to know something, because I can't handle it.
You're very.
So I kept saying to them, no, controlling. So
Is that what it is?
yes. So I kept saying to them, just give me a hint, a little hint, blah, blah, blah. No. I was like, all right, what do I wear?
They were like, don't worry about
And
it.
they're like, don't worry about it. And I was like, are you going to put me in a costume of some sort? That's when I was talking with Johnny, and Johnny almost spilled the beans. She's like, stop talking to me.
Yeah,
Like,
I
and
remember
then
that.
left.
She was just smart. Walked away.
Stop talking to me. I'm like, all
I'm going
right.
to use that as a tactic from now on. When you start, I'm
Please.
just going to
Yeah,
stop
please,
talking to me and
please,
just walk away.
Please walk away. Walk all the way away. It'll be the
I
same
like it.
type of conversation I'll be talking to myself anyway.
Yep.
So,
Wake me up when you're finished with this story, by the way.
well, keep interrupting with your jokes. So I'm like, okay, time is coming up. I asked the question again. What should I wear? So I was trying to play my FO, because after their thing was, you need to leave the house and then be back here at 4:00. And I was like, okay, so weird. It was killing me not to know what it was. It was killing me. And I don't know how I never thought of Bridgerton, but I knew that you and Johnny didn't really watch the show.
Yeah.
So then we changed it to, okay, they're going to do our thing from 4 to 7. And then it was a small little group for my birthday.
Yeah.
We'll go to the bar after. Okay. Let me tell you something. First of all, I had to pee so bad. So so there was a couple of things going against me, is that the ring kept going off while
Right.
we were out. You took
Right.
me out. And I was like, I feel like I shouldn't, because it was like a flurry of ring Finally, the ring notifications work.
Yeah.
And so I'm
And
like,
it was a whole bunch of people stealing packages.
it's stealing packages. Or maybe it was a packages party. I don't know. Ooh, that would not be good.
That
Anyway,
sounds like something different.
like a sausage party.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, there you go.
So I'm like, okay, we had a nice little afternoon,
Yeah.
whatever. Ring is going off. I'm like, listen, I probably shouldn't be looking at the ring, right? And I didn't. And you're like, do you think you should be looking at it? No, I shouldn't. So I didn't. But I had to pee so bad on the way home. So you're just like telling them, like, all right, your mother has to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. I'm like, can she go to the bathroom? I'm like, so I'm like messaging them on the side, like, okay, like here's the deal. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let her go to the bathroom in the first bathroom when she walks in the house. And I'm like, okay. you didn't know this, but when we were leaving, I took your little bedtime eye mask
My eye mask
headband.
with the Bluetooth.
and I was like, all right, you got out of the car. I was like, leave everything in the car. Put this on.
The second you put the blindfold on me, I was like,
Like,
fuck.
You were like you never knew how to do anything.
Oh.
And like you started doing high steps and I was just
I was creating steps that weren't there. You're
I was
telling
like,
me
could you just walk?
No.
And then I will tell you when to step up.
no.
And you're like, no. You're like,
No.
man, fuck,
No.
feeling around,
No.
like doing all this shit. I'm like,
No.
stop it.
No. I don't like that.
It was hilarious. So anyway, you come in, you got to come up 2 steps, and then you come up another step, and then you go into a step into the bathroom.
So many little
Hilarious.
steps in this house, step
What-
by step.
But what was funny is step by
By
step.
step.
So then we come into the house. You've got the blindfold on, and everyone is in the kitchen.
I wish
and they're
someone
watching
else was really recording everybody else.
Yeah, they
Ew.
did a good job. They were quiet.
They were
Did you
very
know there were
quiet.
people in there?
I didn't know. I
Okay.
didn't know
Yeah,
anything.
you didn't know anything.
Honestly.
Good. So you go into the bathroom, and you're like, you're in the thing, and you're like, can I take off the blindfold?
I didn't know if I had to keep the blindfold on
I'm
while
like-
I was peeing.
And I was like, no. And I was like, yes, you can take the blindfold off. And then, so anyway, you do your business, and then we put your blindfold back on, and then I bring you through the kitchen, and you're basically through a parade of people. You're a parade.
A parade.
And
I
then-
had no idea.
Yeah. So we bring you through the house.
and I
bring
was
you
so
into this
stressed out with
room.
the steps
Oh my
because I
God,
was like,
yeah.
and
It
I
was-
know where the steps
It was
are.
ridiculous.
I just don't know how many steps to the steps. I was like, this is
And I was like, I will tell you.
this
I will
is a
tell
lot.
you.
And so the best part is we take the blindfold off.
Take the blindfold
Off.
off.
I look down on the bed and there's this beautiful pink dress
Mhm.
and the whole thing. And there was even like the whistle down, Dear Gentle Rita, the
Mhm.
whole thing with and it's nothing registered really. I was like, what is happening? Because it was not even in my purview of
Mhm.
this could be what is happening. When I turned around and saw them both in the dresses and they played the song,
Yeah. So they start playing the music from the show.
it's one of the Taylor Swift Bridgerton
And
songs
if you haven't seen the show, apparently they do modern songs, but in the classical spin.
with like a string quartet
yeah,
or
Is
whatever.
it the Vitamin String Quartet?
Yes,
I think, or
something like that. Yes, they're amazing.
And so anyway, they start playing the music and it's whatever. And then you turn around and they have a blue dress and a gold dress,
Yes.
and you've got the pink dress, and they're all with the gloves
but I
and
just
everything.
saw them. They had their hair done
Yeah.
like the way
Yeah.
they do
It was
on
pretty
the
awesome.
show.
My
The
favorite part was
gloves.
you just flipping out at that point, and
I
jumping up and
lost
down.
my
Yeah.
shit because I was like, oh my God. And just looking at how beautiful they were, like how beautiful they looked. It was too much. I was like I was like, right now I could die happy just in that moment,
Yeah.
even without everything else. I was
Yeah.
like, this is, you guys are good. You do fun surprises with me all the time, but my parents are always big with like surprising me with something because birthdays are a thing with me. This was probably the most beautiful, wonderful, creative. And I think a good portion of it is because the girls really came up with all of that.
Mhm.
Like it was just
Mhm.
so, oh God. So I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. Because if this is just this part and what happened that you had to blindfold me? Now my brain's going like, I'm like, oh my God, what is
Yeah.
next?
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, you change into the dress, let us know, we'll zip you, and then we're going to do your hair,
Yep.
and we have a thing and a thing and a thing. I'm like,
Yep.
oh my God. So we're doing that. They're doing my hair, they're doing the curl, the thing, the gloves. We walk out,
They got a photo station set
Yep.
up for you.
photo station, a whole thing and you prepared the light for
Mhm.
the photos. It was very sweet. Then we go into the kitchen. And that's when you see one of my favorite. I have a couple of things about Bridgerton that I really, really love. Aesthetically, it is very calming and visually pleasing to me.
Mhm.
The costumes, everything that they do, it's beautiful. And the food, every time they have a ball or they have a tea party, someone's coming over for tea, they always have these beautiful tables set up with all this beautiful food. And I know that I should just know, willing suspension of disbelief, like it's real. But in my head, I'm just like, which one is the real thing? Which one is fake? Did they make that out of styrofoam? Like, because everything looks amazing. To see it in real life, when they bought, because I know one time they went thrifting and they didn't ask me to go. And I was like, man.
They were getting things.
They were getting things, and it didn't even dawn on me. I was like, oh my God, they were picking out the tablecloths. They brought this beautiful china. This was my favorite.
Little tea sets.
They bought this little tea set for gorgeous. I'm keeping it. I was like, I love it. This is beautiful. They put the charcuterie inside the teacups. They made the salami flowers. They just, everything was so gorgeous. They had real candles, real candles with like glass.
Luckily, nothing burned down.
Nothing burned down. It was so beautiful. And to see like all my favorite people in one room, just sheer delight. It was so great. And then the piece de resistance.
Yes. So tell me, walk me through this. What was going through your mind when they were like, okay, there's someone who wants to see you?
So in my head, I thought they did something with Peppa. I thought they dressed up Peppa or that
would have been good.
Did something, right? Because I was like, oh, I just got to do something with the cats. In a million, billion, cotillion years, I would never think that when I walked into the other room, you'd be sitting on the couch with the queen wig with this pink.
It was like
sash.
It was Emily's
robe,
pink robe
which made it
that
even
I wore
better.
like a sash. Yeah.
Oh my
It was
God! And the
pretty funny.
fans are my favorite part. Oh,
We all had fans.
We put I gotta dig the fans out because when I'm off for spring break this week, but when I get back to my classes, I'm always hot in the class.
You're gonna bring a fan.
I'm gonna bring the fan. And my favorite part was like fans.
Yeah.
Fans. I can fan myself. It was so great. When I saw you, I was like, no. And you're like, woo! You have to accent the whole thing. I'm like, what is happening? This is so thorough.
Yeah.
And I immediately knew to bow to the queen. Emily was impressed. She's
You're
like,
lucky.
I didn't even
You're
have
lucky.
to tell you to do that. I was like, bro, we know the show. Like, I know how it goes. Amazing. The pictures that we took. Then they bought masks and bought all the jewels to decorate the masks. We took pictures. So I said to the girls, I was like, every year in the spring, we should have a ball, give it a theme, invite people.
See,
and
then
do that.
There you go, and you make it too much.
No, I think that would be just brilliant. I mean, I love Halloween. Maybe we do a Halloween ball every year. I don't know.
Halloween ball, the Headbangers Ball.
Series. Oh, I used to watch that
Of
on
course you
MTV.
did.
It was, all in all, I appreciate you and Johnny for going along and doing all the things that Emily was asking. You guys did a kick-ass job, and it was just lovely. And they made like special drinks. They had a little teapot that they bought. The attention to detail. I will never get over it. It will be a core memory.
Good.
When I slip into oblivion of whatever dementia I'm going to be getting as I get older, I'm going to be like, remember the tea party? It's just going to be,
party?
yeah, that was a good time.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Good.
it really was.
I'm glad you liked it.
And my
that was,
birthday is on the 29th. I'm not even
Yeah.
near it, and
So we're not even there
we're
yet.
already doing it. Yeah.
So, and then we'll have it. We'll have a less extensive
Yeah.
little happiness time.
Listen,
together.
any time that I get to spend with you and the girls is all right by me.
I like it too.
Yeah.
I like it too. All right, so here we go. You ready?
Yep,
So
I'm
this
ready.
is episode 151. So
Mhm.
we've done 150 episodes up until this point,
Mhm.
and we're still horrible at it.
I know.
Horrible.
It's crazy. How have we done? We did come a long way.
Coming all this way, we're here at the spot, and I thought, and you were like, okay, 151.
It's usually how it works all the time
What if-
anyway. You
well, no.
think, and I'm always like, okay, all right,
Okay, Dave.
okay, Dave.
So what if we revisited our very first episode? But
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So we're going to kind of like, what if this was show number 1?
Okay, I'm in.
All right.
I'm in it to win
You
it.
ready?
I'm ready.
What
I'm ready.
are 3 experiences that shaped you that you don't talk about much?
You go first.
I have one. Oh, I see how you did there.
Yeah, see what I did?
So one, it's always going to be my mom,
Mm.
right? Like I think deep down, rooted in whatever, I've got mommy issues, like no
I
doubt.
think we all do.
Yeah, but I mean, I think some are healthy and some are not, right? I wouldn't say mine are healthy, but I've made them healthy
Mm.
in the sense of that, you know, like I feel like there are some days where because we all have our things, right? Like where like those times where I'm like, or I feel like I'm not, like I can't do something or I don't want to do something. And I know it's like, I don't know, or I get in my head too much. Like it's always about, like, I always kind of wonder if, all right, maybe I should go talk to someone and just kind of work it out, right? Am I holding, am I suppressing trauma that is not allowing me to sprout into the alfalfa that I should
More?
be?
More? You're going to sprout some more? I don't know how much more sprouting I can take from you, honestly, if I'm being very honest. I think you have sprouted just enough. Just enough.
So
Please don't sprout
that's
anymore.
one for me. I mean, like, look, I just, you know, it is what it is. It forms. I think it forms the basis of all of my relationships, I guess, in many ways.
So I will say this. I've always known this about you, known this from you when I first met you. You never use that as an excuse for bad behavior,
right,
which is one of the
right.
things I always appreciated you for. And I see the way you are with your girls.
Yeah.
You're amazing with them. And you could blame all this stuff on stuff. And I've never heard you do that.
Yeah.
And I've always seen you try to find ways to better yourself.
Yeah.
Like with the yoga and journaling.
Yeah.
And, you know, you find something that you really like to do that's constructive. And then you just get really good at it. Like, in a good, healthy way, I think.
So I was going to add another thing here, but I'll let you go first before I get to it, because I think that takes me to my second thing is that, well, one, I appreciate you saying that because that was something. Oh, good. But that was something
as opposed to the other times where I'm a fake phony bitch and I just lie to your face.
Right. Where you say, let's be honest.
No.
So
everybody says that.
So what I had always, the story I always told myself was I was not going to let this be me. And I was not going to let that be my story. And because of that, it became the person that I am, right? Where I'm like, okay, how do I not let that happen? So the impetus for me is always like, I need to not let that happen. And so what do I need to do to get out of that? And so that's always been my kind of driving force, if you will, I guess.
Which is very adult and progressive and honorable.
So what's going to be interesting is if we listen to these, because again, we didn't really prepare for this as much as like in terms of like writing out what we thought. We're kind of doing this on the fly. Like, but I'm always curious. There's a little game I like to play with myself sometimes. That sounded weird. When I'm
home alone.
You know, when you do something and then you're like, and it like repeats, or like you get asked the same question and you're like, oh, did I say the same thing? Or I said exactly, or like sometimes we'll go back and we'll watch these episodes or we'll listen to them and we like, oftentimes we're like, we don't remember like what we said or we did, or like,
I never remember what I say.
Or like the conversation will be going and you'll start talking to the conversation and you say the thing that you said.
Yeah.
I always get a kick out of that for some reason. Like when I'm like, if somebody asked me a thing and I said this, I'm like, I'm like, I hope I said this. Or, you know what I mean? Like I'm having that internal monologue with myself. And so I'm curious as to, okay, what we say, like how close is this to what we said back then? Because you would, depending, I guess, on the nature of the question, there'd be something different. But my mom is definitely going to be there, right? Like, and I think the things that I just now like, oh, it spurred this and this. Like, I wonder if it's the same things.
Well, we've changed a lot since we started this too. I feel like
for sure, yeah,
we have grown in all different ways, and I think like especially like as a couple, as parents, as human beings, there's been a lot of growth.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to hear it throughout the podcast through
Yeah.
the years, so like
Yeah.
where we've come and how
Yeah.
we approach, because look where we are right now. The bar has become the studio, and we have all these lights and technology, and we moved on to video. Like
Mhm.
we grow, we advance. I think that's another reason why we
We
are
evolve.
compatible, is because we're both willing to evolve. And from what you just said, I want to say this. Someone said, and I'm not quoting it verbatim, but someone had said something along the lines of like, kind of be gentle with your parents because they're new to this. They're new to being
Yeah.
parents. Like they didn't know how to be parents. And
Yeah.
just because you had parents doesn't mean you know how to be a parent. So that got to me because there's so many times I don't ever fault my parents for how protective they were with me and how ridiculous they were with me a little. I had a great conversation, actually, just quick side quest. I had a great lunch today with Emily. Her and I had a nice day together, and
Yeah.
then we were having lunch, and then we were talking about like, she's been with her boyfriend for 3 years.
Wow.
3 years. We're like, wow. And then we started talking about like relationships and boyfriends and all this stuff. And, you know, I was just saying like some of the crazy shenanigans that my parents used to do when they didn't like someone that I was dating, you know, especially like the way my mom was like maniacal about stuff. And I told her a couple of stories, and she was like, her flabbers were gasted because she's
Mhm.
like, I know grandma sometimes would do stuff, but one time my mom paid someone to tail a boyfriend, not you,
Mm.
but she paid someone to tail my boyfriend and then came back and told me, did you let so-and-so use your car? And I was like, no, blatantly lied. Let the person use the car. I was like, how
Yeah.
would she know that? So I'm going to lie
Mhm.
about it. And Emily's like, oh, God. I was like, yeah, your grandmother went to great lengths sometimes. And I
Mhm.
was like, these were things that I was going to find the middle ground of it.
Mhm.
I was going to give you structure. And I'm lucky that you and I, like I said, parenting wise, I think we both have grown and we're still learning.
Yeah. Well, sure.
It doesn't stop.
Well,
Because now how
it's-
do you parent
It's an
21-year-olds?
it's an evolution,
different,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that. Okay. So am I answering?
So what's one of these experiences that have shaped you that you don't talk about much? Like one of those things that's kind of like unresolved for you or feels weird, like something like that.
Okay, I'll give you like a obscure one because I've been thinking about it a lot. Was 9/11.
Okay. Tell me more.
Does anybody remember 9/11? No, I actually do not. I like that one joke that we made one time when we were uncomfortable and it was
Yeah.
fine. I do not like. I'm still not okay with 9/11 jokes at this point. People make them all the time
Yeah.
online.
It's like a
Don't like
nervous.
it.
It's like a nervous joke. Right?
Yes,
like it's like when you don't know what else to do, so you just like
Right.
you make like a heh,
Quick
right?
backstory. Dave and I were at a party one time and it was just him and I. We didn't know anybody there. And it's him and I in the corner. And we're like, oh my God, how do we talk to these people? Everybody was like very like hoity toity, whatever.
Horrible.
And Dave's like, how about I just announce, hey,
Hey,
does anybody remember 9/11?
Anybody
And for
remember
some
9/11?
reason that made me laugh. And we just kept it together the whole time. And I was like, and I love dark humor. But 9/11 was so traumatizing. And the reason why that shaped me is because I did have a lot of fucked up shit that happened to me as a kid that should
Mhm.
not have happened.
Yeah.
And I talk about it all the time. And I'm very upfront with it. And I always talk about it. And, you know, what 9/11 did was shake me and make me realize everything could be gone in a second, in a heartbeat, in a second. And that our world that we were living in,
Yeah. Talk about living in bubbles.
pre
like-
9/11, like the weekend before, I had been driving with Stacy and Ruth Ann. We went to Long Island to go get lobster rolls at this place and just laughing and having the best time. And then the next weekend, 9/11 happened on the first day that I was supposed to be teaching ever. It's my first day of class at Kingsborough. I was supposed to be a teacher for the first time, newly minted. And I was in Long Island. My dad was in Jersey City. My mother and grandmother were in Brooklyn. And it solidified. So my paranoia, my fears, my anxiety I have with catastrophic events, 9/11 didn't help because my biggest fear is to be separated from my parents during an apocalyptic event. And that happened. And the thing that got me through it were the people that were around me that helped me that weren't necessarily my family because I couldn't get to them. So I did have some friends that were able to like get me to where I had to go. So part of it was like horrifying knowing that the country we lived in, anything can happen and it's just so scary. Anything can twist on a drop, like you never know. But then there was also that side of humanity where people were helping each other out.
It's that was the most interesting. Like, look, I think like New England, like I grew up here, like everybody kind of helped each other out. New York is a different beast. Not that people don't help each other out.
No, New York was amazing at that time.
But
people were
during that time, it was very like it's a very like it's typically a very fast paced like you got your own agenda and you don't give a fuck about anybody else. But during that time was very much like you were looking everybody in the eye and everybody had this sense of like, you
yes,
good?
Yes.
Right?
It was like,
very,
it was like everybody was kind of, it was oddly.
And that didn't last long. But
no, it didn't, unfortunately.
But
but for the first few days after, it was it was wonderful to see everybody come together and be there for each other. And it shaped me in a way where it solidified my weird anxieties about things and to always just be prepared and to always keep my eye open. And I think had that not happened, I would have been worse during COVID. You know what I mean? Like, because I get the way I get.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And
I've never thought about it like that, but that's interesting.
Yeah. I think about all of that. So
again,
so that shaped me, and that I think that changed me.
Yeah. All right. So number 2 that I put down, and again, like it's not that so these are things I don't talk about much, and I think probably I'll take this in the sense of like what you said, right? Like I don't use these things as a crutch or an excuse, but they are the things that are the underlying things that drive me in many instances. And so again, like I don't have a problem talking about these things. Like these are things I'll talk about with people because like I'm open like that if I'm comfortable. And I think this has to have been what I said in the first episode, but just growing up, the thing that really, the experience that helped shaped where we are is the fact that my parents were divorced. So I had divorced family young, but I had step parents involved. And because I lived with my mom, I visited my dad. I had a good stepfather. I had a good stepmother, but very different. And then, I'm not going to go deep into my grandmothers. I've talked about my grandmothers ad nauseum. They were the best on both sides. Like with like those two really helped shape a lot of me. But the experience of living in the experience of having two different households to experience really allowed me to take the structure from one side with my dad and understanding in the family and in the enjoyment of being with family, and then the responsibility and the self-responsibility and the freedom on the other side, but the freedom to do the right things, right? Like to learn and do on my own, but also being miserable. And everything was a fight and everything was and knowing, okay, I don't want exactly this on this side, and I definitely don't want that. And then my third item I'll talk about that kind of forms kind of like my personality, I think, in all of this, but it allowed me to say, I kind of want something in the middle. And that has grown to where... I think that's why
we get along too, is because we've known the things that... the things that we weren't thrilled about growing up, we knew that's not something I want to carry with me.
Yeah, it's always
when I get older.
It's always been like, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place to be.
In a good, healthy way. Because also acknowledging
I hope
that there is fault. Because look at where we are, babe.
No,
look
I
at
know.
where we are.
Yeah.
And look at, listen, I tell you, with those girls with that party,
No.
it's a party, but it wasn't just
It's
a party. But
No.
it wasn't just a party.
Yeah.
They took time out of their schedules
Yeah.
as 21-year-olds with
Yeah.
boyfriends and friends
Listen,
and
if
lives
there's-
to do this for me.
If there's ever proof we did anything right,
It's them.
it's those two.
It's
for sure.
them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything else could be shit.
Yeah.
Those two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we came from two different households of dysfunctionality,
Mm-hmm.
right? It took me a while to get that word out, but in different ways, in their own ways. And you know what I mean? Like we both, I mean, it takes a lot for a person to see the fault and then not blame, but say, how can I grow from it?
Yeah.
I don't know how, because we are whacked. So I don't even know how that freaking happens.
Some might say wiggity wiggity.
Some might say that. I won't say it.
but
that's
some
fine.
might.
So what? But there was a third thing. Did you want to talk about the third?
Well,
thing?
why don't you do your second thing?
Okay, so it's if life had gone slightly off track.
No, we're still doing what 3 experience?
Oh, we're still doing
that shaped
3?
you? This is number 2 that we're on.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Stop
Oh my
jumping
God.
ahead.
I was jumping ahead. Well, yeah, I would say the next thing that shaped me. Okay, I'll save this one. I'll save this one for the third one. I would say going away to school. When I went to school in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's big for you.
That was huge.
Yeah.
If I didn't go away to school in Buffalo 8
That's
hours
interesting.
away,
Yeah.
I always say I would not be the person I am today.
No, you definitely would not.
You wouldn't know me. We wouldn't have the girls. We would have never met.
Mm-hmm.
I was very. It always cracks me up. I was roaming the streets as a kid because you could do that at that time. Like you could. My parents didn't know where I was half the time. I was like, I'm going to Ruth Ann's house.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I'd be strolling about the town.
Yeah.
But then when I got old enough, you know what I mean, where I could really get into trouble,
Yeah.
not kidnapped, but get into trouble.
Yeah.
My parents were on my case, but I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. It was raining, can't go out. This person, the cat didn't like them. They can't come to the house. It was like always some weird thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So it was always like they were in control of everything. And then they paid for Kingsborough. So I went there for 3 years. I would have kept going. And then Professor Aptekar said to me, you need to leave the womb. You've been in the womb for way too long. My grades were terrible. I was like, and I went to go visit University at Buffalo for an acting competition with the school, and I loved it. I mean, the school was grand. It was grand. They had just redid the atrium in the theater, and I just remember thinking, I want this. This is amazing. And 8 hours away from my parents, even better. And when I told them, they immediately got mad at my friend Denise
Yep.
because it was Denise's fault because she was also going to apply, which she didn't. That's fine. But I did, and I got in because Aptekar, I think he made phone calls. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's no way they should have accepted me there, but whatever. I digress. I get there. My parents were pissed. My mother didn't, you know.
So that's the thing that I never understood, even when I met you, which is beyond this time, is that, look, we've talked about this. The whole purpose, from my point of view, is to have these kids, raise them to be self-sufficient and to go off and do the things that they want to do in life.
Not my parents.
To
My parents are
me,
like, no, you need to stay at home forever.
so that just doesn't compute for me. And it's so,
Well, because
Selfish?
we were always tight.
yeah,
And we were
look
always
how tight
together.
we are. And
But-
but we're like, go do
Yes,
what you
but
got to
it's
do.
different. They were learning. They both came from
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
came from nothing. Their parents were all they had. My father lost his mother when he was very young. So he was basically taking care of his siblings because his father couldn't really do much. Like he wasn't he wasn't good without his wife. You know what I mean? It was like a whole thing. And then forget about my mother, was totally spoiled and only child. And, you know, so that to me, and it was scary as shit. It was so scary because I give my mom credit. She did come with me for like that first week to get me settled in, whatever. And then the best story of all, she calls. We had made friends with the limo driver Random. Why wouldn't we? The limo driver drove us all around that week.
Also, the
A
limo driver?
Limo driver. I guess my
Let's pause
I
on
guess
that
my
for a
father
second.
had a limo waiting for us when we got off the plane into Buffalo. And then we made friends with the limo driver that picked us up. I wasn't spoiled at all. And
No.
no, and he's like the sweetest guy. He's like, yeah, hey, here's my card. I'll charge you whatever rate. I'll drive because I didn't have a car. Okay, we went to flea markets. We went here, there. We had the best week. It was a nice week. And I said, isn't the campus nice? It's nice. My room is nice. And I'm like, yeah. So I walk her down. The limo was going to come. I'm sitting on the bench waiting for the limo to come pick her up, take her to the airport. She goes, I wasn't going to tell you. I'm going to tell you now. I'm wondering if this was ever on any of the podcasts.
It
But
definitely was.
yeah. So she's like, I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to ruin the week, but I'm just letting you know. I have 6 months to live. And I was like,
Horrible.
what? And she's like, yeah, I didn't want straight face.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? So now I'm getting visibly upset and I'm heaving. I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, okay. I'm not going to die. I don't have 6 months to live. But if you come home now, I can get you an extra ticket and I will buy you a brand new car and a puppy. And she would have. At least she would have kept her another bargain. I was like, Maxine, I love you, but I have to do this.
Yeah.
I have to do this.
Good
And
for you.
I honestly thought I wouldn't. I thought I was going home.
Yeah.
Because the first couple of weeks were terrible. I got pneumonia. My roommate's boyfriend sat on me on the couch. He didn't know I was there. I was deathly ill, passed out on NyQuil with the covers, and he sat on me, on my head, like sat on me. Didn't know I was there. It was a lot. And I wasn't used to making friends with people that I didn't already know people there.
Mm-hmm.
Like a whole thing. But I had the best 2 years of my life. I'm so glad that I went there. I did no theater. All I did was musicals. I can't sing, can't dance. It was a freaking nightmare. But I made some of the greatest friends I've ever had. I'm still friends. Liza, John, my friend Shirley, Bill, all my peeps, right? Great experience. And it had not been for that, I wouldn't have learned to wake myself up,
Mm-hmm.
feed myself,
Mm-hmm.
create a schedule, stick to it. Because
Mhm.
at home, I was fed, I was dressed. They
took
did
care
my
of you.
schedule. Yeah, they did all the stuff. So when I came home, I was very self-sufficient. So I think that definitely that shaped me. That made me
Yeah.
think that I could do it.
Yeah.
Without needing a boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
or a parent to do it. I could do it on my own.
Well, I'm glad you did that because
Except for now, I need to write out what I'm going to say when I have to call a doctor's office because I panic. So there's that.
Yeah.
All right, what's yours?
So the third one for me is because things were so miserable at times, majority of the time with my mother, I developed a really good sense of humor. And I
Oh, trauma makes you
always,
hilarious.
always, I was always the one trying to make sure everybody was having a good time. Because every situation would always be miserable and I hated it. And I'd be like, no, if I'm going to be in situations, I want them to be enjoyable.
Mm.
And so that made me always want to make people laugh, always want to make people have a good time. This is why I like to feed people that's my personality. But it's also, that also goes into the work that I do. I love enjoying the work that I do. I'm not a believer in, I think we've talked about this a little bit, you and I at least, but I'm not a fan of confrontational leadership because I don't like that scenario. I think you can lead from kindness and you can lead from collaboratively and have a good time. When I was leading, teams, and even as I have a small team now, but it's from a place of hey, let's have a good time doing this, because I think that's what brings out the best work in people. Sure, there's tension and there's stress, but there's no need to be nasty and be confrontational with people and make them feel less than when you could bolster them and get a better result.
That's kind of how I am too.
And so
Yeah.
that has always made me one, I want to, if I'm going to be with people, I want to make sure everybody's having a good time. And I want people laughing. There's nothing more beautiful to me than the feeling or even just the sound of either laughing myself or hearing other people laugh.
I think both of us connect in that way because of theater, which is probably why we got
Yeah.
into theater, because we like to make people feel something and feel good. And then we like to have a little escapism.
Well, so this is the
As well.
the theater for me. Like, so yes, I mean, I love the attention, right? Being
It doesn't hurt.
a
Or getting accolades.
I have brothers and
after.
sisters, but I consider myself many ways an only child just because I was older, and then the whole divorce thing and that type of stuff, right? So I really kind of grew up alone, not with a brother or sister, really. But for me, the acting bit is one, the attention I love that feeds my. So again, I think at the end of the day, it all boils down to I want my mother to love me, and people showing me love makes me feel good, right? But then the other piece of it is also because there was, I think there's the part of the facade of the laughing and funny and everything's great, is that behind that is a lot of hurt and pain that I think for me, acting allows you to work through that and release it behind the guise of a character where you're not really exposed, although you're
Right.
not, to other people's eyes, you're
Right. You're a character.
not
it's not
exposing
you.
you're not exposing yourself, although if you're doing it well, you are
Theater is
raw
extremely
and exposing yourself.
therapeutic to the actor as well as the audience who are perceiving what you're creating, and what you're creating comes from a place of truthfulness if you're a good actor. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm with you on that.
You have a third thing?
So my third thing that shaped me obviously is the girls.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Motherhood. So here's
yeah. So
yeah.
it's interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
Motherhood is interesting. When I found out I was pregnant, there's this euphoria and this, you're scared. And then when I was pregnant, I would get compliments and lots of attention. I was like, this is great. Then I had the girls and my body was decimated. My hair was falling out. My brain was done. It was fried. My body did not look at all like it did before having 2 babies in my belly. Luckily, I was very happy that I was afraid of postpartum, like having some mental issues. But luckily, I don't know, I had good support. I had great help. I think I did not like that the girls came out as early as they did. I was not thrilled that they were in the NICU for as long as they were. But the 2 months that I had to recuperate my body because I had a C-section.
You had a good opportunity to just let your body heal.
Yes.
And take care of yourself.
Yes.
Without having to take care of somebody else.
2.
Yeah.
And they did not stop crying. They didn't sleep. They didn't take naps, and they didn't stop crying. And all they did was vomit.
It's so wild.
Oh,
man.
my
Remember all the things
God.
that we had to do with them?
Oh my God.
Wow.
So it was crazy because it was like I was dealing with, I'm now a mom. My body is different. I'm no longer this young, hot, sexy thing. Like I'm now mom.
You're hot,
That
sexy
label
mom.
gets on
You're
you.
MILF.
Well, the MILF happens later on, but it's in the moment of, oh my God, because you smell like vomit, you smell like shit, you are exhausted. I had no time to do my hair, to wash, to do anything. Like my whole life was out of whack. And there was a brief time where I was like, I didn't want to, I don't mean this the way it's going to sound.
Yeah.
But the mom thing was secondary. Once I was able to get back and go to work and get dressed and be with people and be in education again and feel like the person I was before, even though I had changed and I didn't accept it yet, the mom thing was very difficult for me because I was always cutesy Reese and fun Reese. And now I'm Johnny and Emily's mom. I'm not myself.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then it took me a long time to get to, especially because they were so rough for many years, which now I see their independence when they were young. They were so pushed back because they were independent. They were showing, they were like trying to prove themselves to themselves and to me, like how much could they get away with? And now I look at it and I think they are the best besides you. And I love you. And it's because of you. they are the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
At all the trials, tribulations, my parents did a lot of great things for me. But the two of them really showed me that I could be a better person, a human, but also the term mother. I love when they're like, mom.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, listen, and
I love it. I could hear it all day. It makes
That's-
me so happy.
that's not a term that I take lightly or use lightly, right? Like in the sense that, again, you know, my mommy issues, right? There's a woman who birthed me.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call her mom. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and so there's a lot of meaning in that.
Again, there was a long time where I got to a point where I was like, I have to give myself some grace. It is not easy to be a mom. And fathers have their own thing.
Yeah. Well, look,
They have their own stuff that they have to work through. I know nothing about it. I can't even imagine. I'm sure you have your own insecurities or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, as as a woman, you lose certain parts of yourself that, and the great thing is I go back, I look at pictures when they're young, and I remember thinking like, oh my God, I was so overweight. I was so like blah, blah, blah. And I go and I look and I'm like, oh my God, I was skinnier then than I was
Look,
now.
It's ridiculous the things that we do to ourselves.
It's
but-
terrible,
yeah.
but we're our own worst enemy. And I think a lot of it
Correct.
too
Yeah.
is, yes, you can blame other people for stuff, but really in the end, the only person's approval that you should want and need is your own. Because if you don't fill your own cup and if you're not proud of yourself, at the end of the day, when you go to bed at night,
Yeah.
even though someone's sleeping next to you,
Yeah.
even though you created two beautiful children, the only person that really matters at the end of the day, we die alone. I'm not trying to be morbid. I'm just saying,
Too late.
I'm just saying, I can talk about 9/11 again if you want. See, there you go. But no, but it's true. Like if you don't love yourself and appreciate yourself and do things for yourself, how can you do good things
Yeah.
for other people?
No, it's
And
true.
if you let
I agree with that.
And if you let other people, if your whole day depends on, does this person like me, love me,
Yeah.
respect me? What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I love looking at the girls and knowing that I will always try to find a way to be impartial, to listen,
Mhm.
to validate them,
Mhm.
to not lecture. And I always preface with, because we've come a long way with the conversations that we have with them too. They shape how I
Yeah.
communicate.
Yeah.
They
for
shape
sure.
how I
Yeah.
zoom out.
And I love that they'll talk to us.
Oh my God. I was saying today, and I said it to your father, I was like, if at any point they're like, do you want to hang out today?
Mhm.
Yes. Yes, I do. Because that was one thing that I did hang out with my parents a lot. I was always with my family all the time, but I didn't have a particular type of relationship that I have with the girls now. And I curate it. I love it. It's so delicate and fragile. And I appreciate every moment of it because what I would have loved to have had was transparency. And I didn't have that with my parents.
Yeah.
I was
Another
telling,
thing that drove me crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
And the stories that I was telling Emily today, we had our little lunch and I was telling her about all the lies. I used to lie to them all the time. All the time. And the one time I didn't have to lie to them when I went away to Buffalo, they didn't know what I was doing. And I'm sure that was driving them crazy. And I was doing some crazy stuff there too.
Yeah.
But I always knew, I could always hear my father going, Reese, don't ever do anything crazy to make me sad, to make me, because and I,
That's all you did.
that's no, like meaning like if I ever got myself knocked up
Yeah.
or dead or
If I ever got myself
doing
dead.
something, if I ever got myself got, if I ever got, like, and I don't know, just to me, I feel like what shaped me and really has made me grown to be a better communicator and just a better person and to really appreciate being a mom
Yeah.
was the girls.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it any other way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like they're the ones that really, and I talk about them all the time in my classes too. They're
Yeah.
like my main allegory for when I'm teaching.
All right.
Those are mine.
If your life had gone slightly off track at a key moment, where do you honestly think you'd be? And this not like you wish you had gone here or like a fantasy type thing, but like in
No, I
in
can
a
tell you.
realistic timeline, where do you think you would
It
be
was
if
one of
something
the
went a
st-
different way?
It was one of the stories that I was talking about with Emily today, where I was saying like, it makes me happy that they found two people that they we can see that they are good to them
Mhm.
and that they are in a good place. And I'm like, it's so great to me
Mhm.
that they didn't have to go and date some of the idiots that I dated. And there were one or two where I came very, very close to marrying them.
Mhm.
And I think my life would have, for that, would have gone off track. And I think that I would have been still in Brooklyn,
Mhm.
living in a basement, making sauce,
Gravy.
whatever, with about 5 or 6 kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely miserable.
Ooh.
Miserable. Absolutely never teaching, never
I could
going
see
to
that.
college. Just a bitch, like a gacayone on the block with my accent, all like bang, bang,
Yeah.
with, a short little gray haircut, like a fucking disaster. With like 5 or 6 pieces of shit kids that I hated.
Nice.
They would drive me
Nice.
nuts. Spoiled jerks.
Nice.
So I think that is my nightmare when I think about that could have been my life.
Yeah.
And what propelled that was going to Buffalo. I
Yeah.
think that
Well-
really set the course for me.
Okay, you ready?
Mhm.
So similar.
Mm-hmm.
I could have seen myself with 5 or 6 kids. No, I'm kidding. So a key moment sticks out in my mind look, I graduated high school. I went to UMass Amherst for a couple of years. Then I came back home and I was working and not going to school. And then while I was doing that, there was a certain point in that job, and I love the job at UPS. I even today think about sometimes that, look, if we ever needed like health insurance or something, like I would go work at UPS.
You would love it because you'd be putting all the boxes like
It would,
Tetris.
it would feed my OCD
Puzzle brain.
and like my game mentality. Like it was in good shape and stuff. It was great. But there was a certain point where you start kind of like unloading packages and then you can work up to sorting packages. And I got to the point where, of course, I worked my way up to sorting
Of course
packages.
you did. Of course
Which
you
I
did.
loved.
Mm.
But there were guys there that I would assume were my age now. And I remember just it clicked one day. Like I looked over and they were like there, and I was like, is this what I want my life to be? And I was like, I gotta go back. I gotta do something. I gotta figure something out. And that's when I started, like they had tuition reimbursement. I started going back to school at NECO. That's where I found theater. So I think it's that moment of realization, one, because otherwise I think I could have been, based on where I don't know if this would have ever really happened, but like if I just had my mother's side and I didn't have the other piece to go off of, I'd definitely be like in a trailer park or something
Oh.
like that.
You would not be
Like-
doing,
Oh,
you wouldn't have a house.
no,
You probably wouldn't even have a car.
I don't know, but it would have been bad.
Yeah.
But so that first moment of realization, like this is not what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. And 2 was then I have to get out of here. I can't be around this. I need to get away from it so I can do what I need to do for me. And so I think those 2 things are
Yeah.
what moved me to that place. But yeah, if I didn't have that, I could very easily just, I don't know, be
You would have been floating around.
be
I think.
one of those unhappy,
Mhm.
miserable person that's just every night is drinking beers
Yeah.
and being miserable.
Yeah. You would have been bitching about your wife
Yep.
and just not a happy camper.
Yeah.
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 Now you get to bitch about your wife on a podcast that we get to do.
And love every minute
And
of it. Da,
love
da, da,
it.
da, da.
All right. And then last one.
Yeah. What's something your younger self believed about life or marriage that you now completely disagree with?
I don't know. I feel like the only thing that I've changed my opinion on is when I was in high school, I did not want to have children.
Well, yeah.
I thought that would be terrible. I thought that would just encroach on this life that I thought I was going to have. I was going to marry one of the 7 people I was obsessed with, and we were going to live happily ever after and travel and do all this stuff. I thought like you find your soulmate and then you travel around and I didn't have the mentality of getting married, having children, and that wasn't that in high school. That eventually turned around when I was like 25 or 26. All of a sudden, my lady parts were like, "You need to put a baby in here. Like, you need a baby. You do on." And every time I saw a freaking baby, I was like,
that
"Oh
what they
my
sound
God,
like?
I love
It's
a
pretty
baby."
scary.
Like, I just couldn't. I just wanted to hold people's babies. I was like, I got baby fever. Their hormones they kick in. So I feel like, yeah, when I was like younger in high school, I thought kids were shitty, terrible. Plus, I worked a lot of jobs like with kids, like camp counselor stuff, and the kids were awful. Worse today, but they were pretty bad back then. And I was like, I don't want any of those. So I feel like, yeah, I've changed.
I don't want any of those.
I've changed. I do not want any more.
No, I mean,
and I
at
can
our
wait a
age,
little
no.
bit with the grandkids. I mean, I know
Yeah, I'm good with waiting a little
I
bit.
can wait a little bit more because I like right now.
Yeah, and I
that
want them to have their own.
I want them to
establish
because
their own things.
20s are great. 20s are when you get to fucking fuck around.
I think we
and enjoy.
We had it at the right time.
I think so. I think 30. You have you have your 20s to kind of figure things out and make some mistakes and party because your body can still do that. And once you hit 30, you can't party like you used to. You definitely get tired. You definitely have your little clicks, and you definitely start to feel as you hit into your 30s, into your 40s, you appreciate that like early bedtime, people canceling plans.
Right now I'm ready to go to bed.
I'm
right
ready.
now.
It's almost our time.
Almost 9
9:30.
o'clock. Ooh,
9:30.
yeah.
We're usually, and it's a Friday freaking night. We're kind of, this is late for us to be functional.
I would be in bed already. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
So what's yours, babe?
So I don't know. This is an interesting one.
It
right?
was an
Because,
interesting
I
one.
think that something I believed about life or marriage that you now completely disagree with.
What was your take on divorce? Did you ever think you were going to get married and get divorced?
No. Well, so I wasn't sure if I'd ever get married, if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
until like we really started talking.
And you
about
still
it.
weren't sure about getting married.
for a little bit. Yeah. I mean, but no, one thing I always knew, and I still feel like I know nobody thinks they're going to get divorced, but I didn't believe in divorce as an option because like I always felt that, particularly at the time when we were doing it, is that like divorce was an easy way out. Not that divorce is easy, but well, I guess this is what shapes everything, right? Like in so many ways, like I think, we always talk about this communication, like divorce, I think happens because you're hiding something from somebody or you're not honest with someone. And so you're living a lie in many instances. And then you're not communicating and you're not working through the things that. So I don't know if there's something I didn't, or I believe that I don't believe now, or I could disagree with, but because it's kind of the same. Like I knew, I knew if like nothing's easy. Life isn't easy. I don't know why anybody thinks anything is easy. It's not.
And it's not. And that's a thing.
And that's okay.
Yes, because also something, I looked at my parents and I never saw them fight. They definitely put up a facade.
Mm-hmm.
I know they loved each other. And I think the issue, I always thought like I would marry someone and have that type of, because they were tight. They were tight. They always had each other's back. They always took care of each other. They always worried about each other, but they enabled each other. And I realize now I like what we have because we don't enable each other.
Yeah.
We do not fill each other's heads with bullshit. And we are honest enough to a fault sometimes, but honest enough where we let some things are just like, yeah, I'm going to let them have that. And some things are, we need to discuss, this is problematic. This is getting in the way of us
Yeah.
having a good faith
Yeah.
marriage.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm glad that we don't enable each other, that we do confront each other. And then we are real people in front of the girls too.
Yeah. I definitely believe that.
We
Yeah.
are real people in front of them. You know what I mean? And I think that's important to show your kids too. Because my parents definitely put on a show. Sometimes, because I didn't know that people fought. They had one big fight and I almost ran away from home. It was so scary to me. And it wasn't even that bad of a fight. And it was over something so stupid. And I just remember thinking like, oh my God. But I'm sure they had blowout fights. I just was never
Right.
privy to
Right.
it. And they enabled each other. And I'm,
Yeah.
you know, and I always thought that, yeah, I want someone to just feed into my bullshit.
Mm.
And I'm kind of glad that's not where we are, because that wouldn't help me grow as a person
Yeah.
either, and vice
Yeah.
versa.
So I don't know if there's anything that I believed. I mean, the only things, like, again, these are stupid things, but like, I think I was very, like, we've talked about this idea of like, we've relaxed in our older age, or like, you don't care about things like you used to.
Mm.
Like, and so I feel like there are things that I was like adamant about when I was younger.
Like
that
what?
look at just stupid things. Like band, like that band is stupid. Like, and if you like them, you're stupid.
Right.
Like, you know, you know what I mean? Or
Right.
like how we talk about country music. I don't know. I still stand by that one. But
Same.
But like, you know what I mean? It's like things like that
Let me
used
ask
to
you
be
a
like,
question.
yeah.
Did you ever have it in your head that if I was going to get married, this is the type of person that I would marry? Did you have that person in your head? Like
Oh,
what
no.
they're, no?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
No, I think I knew more of I don't know. I think my relationships were always in the people that I'm attracted to are always the people that are, I think, one, have a good sense of humor. I think there's something unique about them.
Like height?
Yes, they're so tiny. That's why I keep doing that. They're so small.
That wouldn't
No.
be something I would like.
But see
Hey,
what you did there.
I did it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, and so I like people that are real people, and I like people that have something unique about them. Like, I don't like I'm not a, I'm not like a masses person. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what's the word I'm looking for? But I'm not like in the, I don't
Yeah.
want the
You don't want what everybody
mainstream.
else wants. Right.
Like, I
But-
don't want that. I want
Right.
something different. That's what I want,
Right.
or the thing that I'm envisioning it to be, right? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's hard to explain, but
No, but I get it.
so,
I do get
so
it.
it was just more, it was never, I was never like, I don't think I don't see, again, because I came from a divorced family. I was like, I never was looking for marriage as a thing. But when it did come up, and if it was going to be a thing, I knew divorce was not going to be part of the equation.
Right. I also never thought that I would elope. I really thought I knew that I wanted to get married and have a big wedding, because that's
Yeah.
what everybody did. I never thought that I would be someone who would elope in Vegas with Elvis
Yeah.
and not have.
Wait, you're married to Elvis?
Yes, actually. Yes. It just is so weird that I did everything with my family, and with half the family missing, it wasn't going to be like a thing. So, it's okay to have expectations and to have goals for yourself, but also be okay when it doesn't come out. It's the wabi sabi. It doesn't come out the way you think it's going to be. And sometimes it's for the best. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
this is one of the things I think we've been talking with the girls too, is that they have these ideas of these experiences that they think they should have at this time, especially with jobs.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, these jobs are here to help teach you to get to where you eventually will be.
So I think, for me, I'm the type of person, I was thinking about this just in relation to like the way I work, for example. Like, I think about the things, but I very much have to internalize them. This is why I think I was a good actor, right? Is that like, I have to work through them. And so I'm very good at saying, like, this is a scenario that I want to be in, but I don't know exactly I have an idea of where I want it to go, but I don't exactly know how I'm going to get there.
Right.
And I have to live in it and do the thing so that I can experience it. And then like, oh, okay, this is where I need to like, right.
But
like,
that's great.
yeah.
That's how things should be done. And you
I think
should be
so,
okay
but
with
yeah.
things not being perfect and for things to be a little messy
yeah.
and for things to not work out the way you want to, because that helps you learn and grow and become a stronger thinker and a survivor so that you can.
Do, 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 do,
Yep,
do,
yep,
cue, cue.
yep.
That's how we'll
Is that how it's going to go?
just
Okay.
do, 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 do.
Yep.
All right. So listen, that was pretty fun.
That was
Maybe
good.
we'll have to explore some of those older episodes as
That
well
was
that we
really good. That
started.
was a
Maybe
lot of
that
fun.
first season we'll take some of those. But anyway, that was a good conversation. Thank you,
good.
Reese.
Thanks, David.
I'm glad we finally got back here after a week off. We got back into back in front of the
We'll have some
microphones.
fun stuff to talk about tomorrow when you have your full day of yoga. And I go to Early
I
Bird
can't wait
Dance
to-
Club
yeah, I can't
tomorrow
wait for
night
your-
at
your
6 o'clock.
Early Bird Dance Club.
6 o'clock dance club tomorrow.
Well, friend, listen, go have some conversations with the people that you love. And maybe if those people are us, you can have those conversations with us. But either way, we hope you're chatting. Go follow us on all the socials. We're on the Facebook. We're on the TikTok. We're on the Insta.
Oh yeah, we're on
And
the TikTok.
we're-
Go give us.
we're on the
we need
YouTube.
more people to like our TikTok page so that we can get to 1,000 followers.
if there's
so
our,
do it.
we're starting
Get the
we're-
word out.
We're getting the clips are doing pretty well, so it's pretty exciting. So go do that. And again, if you want to talk to us or you want to get your voice on the show, we really would love to have you do that. So go to the website. You're going to see on the right side of the website, there's a little tab that says leave a voicemail. Go there and talk to us. If there's a question here you wanted to, or something that we said that you'd like to talk to us about or give us a rebuttal, I don't care. Whatever it is, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear from you. And
I'm ready
might
for
just
bed.
end up on the show. Me too.
Let's go to bed.
So let's say this, friends. Life is a group project. Be kind to each other.
We got the right stuff.